Well, good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock on Friday, the 10th of January, and this is Lunch and Learn number three for us. Today's topic is an interesting one. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. I just need to, gosh, this thing's almost like Zoom now. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and then coming back at the end to kind of wrap it up. So here we go. I think, I think we're there. There you go. Thank you for the patience to be part of this afternoon. So what we're talking about today is how to start. Oops, let me just move that over and get this out of the way. Bear with me just a moment. I've got to just change something here. It didn't want to do what it's supposed to be doing, which is start at screen one. You know, technical difficulties or operator error. Choose your poison this afternoon. Choose your poison. Here we go again. I should have put music on in the background, right? That would have been super helpful. Lesson for next time. Okay, I think we've got it. Again, thank you for joining me today. I'm Chris Morales. I'm the founder of SkillsBoost Academy. Our mission when we started this was to provide online courses for professionals, business professionals, to help improve their skills, master certain essential business skills. In today's Lunch and Learn, it's really the third in the series of the Lunch and Learns that I put together, which, just a quick background, came about because of some feedback I got from one of the courses I teach at George Brown College on small business. And so this one came about because of that, and I'm hopeful that you'll find some good in it today. It's all about how to start your first business. Now, I'm going to be going at a fairly high level. So if you want to go deeper, just hit the website, skillsboostacademy.com, look for the contact form and message me directly. And we'll be able to go into some more deep parts of the topics that we're covering today. Now, I'm going to be pulling the curtain behind a little bit, sharing some of the business planning that I used when I put this business together last June. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to be covering today is the feasibility. I'm going to be using a device called the SWOT matrix, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, to kind of take a look at the feasibility of your business idea. Then we're going to build a business plan using a very simple one-page document called the Business Model Canvas. Like it a lot, and you'll see why when we get to it. Of course, we've got to talk about marketing, right? Online marketing, that's where the world's shopping. We'll be touching on that today most solidly. And as well, showing you and sharing with you ways to create your own elevator pitch, your unique value. Sales. Thinking like a customer is key to making sales work for you. And today we're going to talk a little bit more deeply about how to overcome sales objectives. That's probably one of the key things in being an effective salesperson is figuring out how to overcome sales objections. And finally, how to set up your business. Not super complicated. There are a couple of steps. And I'm going to show you how to set it up provincially, as well as register for HST and GST by going to the Federal Canada site. So the feasibility, it's all about figuring out how your product or service satisfies a need in the marketplace. Right? Are people willing to pay for it as well? That's a very key one that you need to consider when you're developing your business plan and when you're developing your business idea. So, what's your idea? That's the first step in evaluating and assessing the concept that you've got to see if you can answer this question. What need in the marketplace have you identified? What problem do you anticipate you think that you're going to be able to solve with this business? The second question is, what makes you different? How are you unique? Now, to answer those questions, you start with the business idea. Here's the original idea I identified in the marketplace for SkillsBoost Academy. What I wanted to do was to sell professional business development courses online to adults who wanted to elevate their business skills. That's the original. It's morphed a little bit since then, but that's essentially where we are today. Then I set up my personal objectives for the business. Within 6 months, I want to be operating this business full time from home. And then finally, I wrote out the business problem and my solution for it. The problem as I identified it basically were out of work 55-year-old plus adults who recently lost their jobs and were thinking about setting up their own businesses. They're not professional salespeople, but they want to improve and elevate their skills specifically in that area. And they're looking for courses that are practical, things they can apply very quickly in terms of being able to use leverage and turn into something that will work for them. The solution I came up with was very straightforward. I'm going to provide online training courses that help them increase, improve, enhance their skills that they probably already have learned in corporate, but they need to just enhance and make sure it works for them in a different business environment, not a corporate. This is now their own personal business. Now, to test the feasibility, I use a device called the SWOT matrix. What it stands for and what it looks like first, but what it stands for is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It does look a little complicated. This is a built-out one, but I'm going to walk you through essentially what I did for mine in a couple of different areas. So the first thing I did was work out the strengths for myself, the weaknesses, opportunities, and what I perceived there were threats in the marketplace. Now, strength for me is that I've got 35 plus, some say 40 years plus experience in corporate sales, marketing, advertising, and 5+ years teaching at George Brown College in Toronto. A weakness, though, is that I'm a small new fish in a very big and very competitive environment. I'm just another person shilling online courses. The opportunity, though, is to provide a niche service to a very specific group. And again, back to the original definition, 55 plus adults looking to improve their skills after leaving the corporate world. The threat, though, is that it's an overcrowded market, right? There's a glut of online training available. I'm just another one who's sitting in that world. So, you've got to think about how that's all going to work. Now, how to make that, now that's just the SWOT. How to turn it into a matrix device that helps you evaluate the feasibility of this is that you're going to do some matchups now. So here's how that looks. Backing up one again here. So the matchups were a couple of ideas. A strength with an opportunity, right? So I'm thinking strength that I have with an opportunity in the marketplace. 5+ years of teaching. Courses are going to be about professional development. They're going to help you get better at what you're doing. A weakness with a threat, because these can be deal breakers. The weakness with the threat is I'm a small fish in an overcrowded market. And that's basically the process. You write out your objectives for the business. You think about how you can provide a solution for a business problem. And then you use the SWOT matrix to get a better understanding of where you're strong and where the areas that you might need to improve on. Now, the heart of the entire process is the business plan. I mentioned the business model canvas. It's your roadmap. It keeps you disciplined and accountable. It's your pathway to success, if you will. It gives you focus, keeps you disciplined on track as you work through the startup process and even beyond. It fosters communication with two key people, and I can't stress this enough. These are two groups of people that are key to your eventual success in the business. The first are your mentors, because you're going to have conversations with them. These are seasoned business people who you can go to give you objective feedback on what your idea is. And then your advisors, the experienced business professionals who are going to challenge your assumptions. They're going to put your feet to the fire sometimes. And that is invaluable because You can miss things or they can give you a little slightly different point of view. The most agile one I've come across in 10 years is the business model canvas. I've used it in all the courses I've taught at George Brown in the small business course. It's the foundation that I used for SkillsBoost Academy. There are 9 sections to it. First is you're going to identify your key partners. You're going to come back to that value proposition. You're going to talk about the key activities that you need to work on in the business. You're going to talk about how you're going to communicate with your customers, the customer relationship segment. Then the customer segments. Who is your target? Who is the very pinpoint, if you will, of the people that you want to talk to in a vast marketplace of people who may be buying a product? What resources do you need? The channels. How are you going to communicate with them? And then the two parts at the end are always the most challenging, the cost structure. Using cash flow, income statements, balance sheets, all the good stuff, right? Biggest one in there, though, that I found is the cash flow statement. It can be used for so many things. And then finally, what's the money look like? Where's the revenue coming from? For Skills Boost Academy, I took some time. At the time, it seemed longer than it should have been to answer each of the questions in that business model canvas template. I leveraged a lot of the work that I had done in the SWOT analysis, though. So it wasn't recreating, it was building on. So to illustrate that, I'll show you just 2 different areas within it. First was the value proposition. What was compelling about the proposition? Well, my answer to that was, and it's a very personal one, I'm the poster boy for this. I'm over 55, not in a corporate environment anymore. And with 40 plus years of experience, how can I leverage that to solve a problem in the marketplace, which is that people like myself might be looking for ways to very quickly and practically improve their business skills. And the key resources that I identified, what assets, what unique assets did I have to make this work? My answer was very simple. I'm going to have the online courses, but it's one-to-one individual, personal counseling, coaching, if you will, that you'll get when you take each and every one of my courses. So in the marketplace, there may be other products that are similar. They may offer the coaching. They may offer live courses. I'm bringing the 2 together. Then I went to work. I shared it with my mentors and advisors, and over a period of about a month, we ripped into it and modified it and changed it and came up with what I now use as the foundation for the business moving forward. It's a live document, though. You're going to come back to it and refer to it, which again is why I like the single page version of this. You don't have pages to wade through. You can get to it very quickly. So congratulations. You've completed your SWOT. You've got your feasibility done. You've prepared your business plan. Now what? How do you communicate that to your prospective customers? That's the role of marketing. It's how you get in front of your market, in front of your audience with messages that focuses on how you're going to solve their problems, right? That's the benefit side of what we talk about. And it's also the benefit side that you focus on in sales. I'm going to focus a bit today on online marketing because that's really where the world is shopping today, just about in every category. First, though, start with your website. That's your online home. Lots and lots of solutions and lots of options for where you can go to get a website, a proper website. The one that I like the most is GoDaddy with WordPress, but there's Wix, there's Squarespace, and if you're going to be doing a store online, you can use Shopify. They have a very good platform for bringing it all together. Now, once you've got your home, you need to have a residence for it online, and basically the online hub is the Google Business Profile Manager. Set that up, spend the time to fill it all in, put the products in, put your services, location if you have to as well. Then you need to think channels. You need to think how you're going to reach those people. And primarily for most of us now, it's all about the socials, right? The social media places. You've seen some of the icons on the screen here. These are how you're going to and where you're going to have conversations with your target customers. So the biggies for me are the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the Instagram. Those basically are the foundation that I like to come back to when I'm building anything. And for sure on the Skills Boost, that's kind of where I am at the moment. You can also add things like X and TikTok. It depends, of course, on where your audience is. But keep in mind, as you look at all these channels and all the variations that are going to be coming, even as you continue to operate your business. It's better to focus on few rather than going to many and spreading yourself too thinly. Keep that in mind as you look at all the social channels out there. Now, a very important part of your marketing arsenal is your unique value. Bring it right down to what's your elevator pitch. How do you communicate your point of difference? How do you talk about what makes you unique? What makes your solution particularly unique for your target audience? It's focused on your customers. What's in it for them? There are some tips on how to write your elevator pitch. First, avoid jargon. Avoid technical language, and in this case, I'm going to suggest you stay away from humor. Use strong, active, and direct language. Persuasive language is more important and more impactful in an elevator pitch. Focus on the benefits that your product or services provide. Really, you want to show how you help solve their problems or meet their needs. That's the foundation of a successful ongoing business. So here's a template that you can use to create your own elevator pitch. I'll go through it. You provide your target prospect with unique features and benefits to solve a problem or meet a need by your benefits and differentiators. Essentially, you're building on what we discussed at the start of this workshop. What's the strength or unique value that you provide, and how does that strength provide value to your target customer? Now, here's how I use this template to craft the unique value proposition or elevator pitch for SkillsBoost Academy. And yes, I do use it in networking events that I go to. SkillsBoost Academy provides first-time sole proprietors with training in essential business skills and sales skills. And that's to help them get better results quickly by offering online courses and personal coaching. Now you've built your business plan, you've identified how you're going to reach your market. Guess what's next? You got to figure out how to sell it. Now, admittedly, that's not the most popular topic. Most of us don't like being sold to. But sales is not just for professional salespeople. I have taught sales courses, and you would be amazed, that maybe not, at the variety of people in there. There were always the professional salespeople, but then there were also some corporate folks, folks in business, people looking to start and maybe get their first job in a career. And they thought that sales skills would help them overcome some of the objections that they would get when they were in the marketplace. So it was quite a broad array of people, not just professional salespeople. And running a successful, sustaining business, basically you're selling all the time. But think of selling as getting prospects to buy into the product or services that you're offering. They're universal. You're selling skills at network events, trade shows, and of course, when you're building out proposals and sales pitches. Few situations you'll face as a new business owner. You're new, you're small, you're unique. No one knows of you. You're in a market that's got well-established competitors. Small, untested player going up against larger, more well-defined competitors. Your pricing. You may have higher pricing than the competitors. You're going to have to think about how to overcome that. Common to all of these, though, is one thing, and that is objections. And what that means is prospects not ready to buy from you yet. I mean, that's a mindset thing, but if you think about it, you're solving a problem for them, and they're not ready to buy yet. That changes the conversation a bit and leads to this particular technique. Not going to push high-level and high-pressure sales tactics at you. I'm going to talk about how to, you're going to use the process to clarify and meet the prospect's needs. Making the sale gives you the opportunity to start a conversation with them that hopefully will last a long time because it shows your expertise. That's why you're setting out in business as a sole proprietor. That's why they're not buying from a big corporation. They're going to get that personal service. And essentially, that's the word. Think serve versus selling, and you're on the right track, especially when you put your customer first. So after lots and lots of selling courses, here's the foundation that seems to make the tightest sense for the people that I've talked to with regards to selling, not for professional salespeople and not hardcore. First step, listening actively. That's a skill. You don't want to jump to conclusions. You want to understand as much as you possibly can about what they need and what their barriers to committing might be. Asking questions. During the initial process, these are called open-ended questions, where you're learning about their situation so that you can start to come up with ideas for how you're going to help solve their challenges. An example would be, how will this work for you? Not, will this work for you? First is an open-ended question. The second is a closed. You use that when you're trying to get the close. Then, of course, you're going to present solutions. You're going to provide information to them and proposals to them that help explain how your product or service will solve them, will solve their products, problems and challenges. You're going to face objections no matter what the process is. It's never a linear, it's never straight. Prospects not ready to buy yet. With that mindset, you can then start to develop a more specific approach. And this is the one that I think works across a broad range of situations. It's acknowledging the objection, responding and restating, and then the most important part probably is to engage them, bring them into the conversation as well as the solution. Here's an example. Customer says to you, "We don't think that your solution can be implemented in the time frame." Suggested response. So if I understand, you're concerned that the timeline cannot be met. What would it take for us to address the timeline issues to remove that as a barrier to moving forward? So there we are. You're ready to go. Exciting times. It's also a little bit scary. You're taking that first step, that leap, if you will, from where you were to what you're hoping is going to be a solid business opportunity for you moving forward. A couple of things to consider. You've got to register your business. You do that provincially, province of Ontario, because we happen to be in Ontario, but every province has a very similar process. You can do this online. And the second is to register for HST and GST. You do that through the Federal Canada site for HST and GST. But before registering, there's a couple of things you need to think about. Are you going to register as a sole proprietor or as a corporation? And the answer really depends on your particular situation. If you're providing a service as a sole proprietor, the simplest is the sole proprietor registration. It's not expensive, and you can do that very quickly online. If, however, you're selling a product from a physical location, you're going to be buying inventory, you've got to be signing up leases and doing things like that, maybe some liability issues. You want to think about forming a corporation. Again, if you're going to be thinking investors, they generally won't deal with a sole proprietor when it comes to investing money. And you're going to use this link to register, and this is specific for Ontario. And what they're going to give you is a BN, business number. And you're going to need that business number because when you go to the Government of Canada site to register for HST and GST, you'll be using that number to start that process. Now, I know if you've got revenue under $30,000, you don't absolutely have to register, but I recommend it right from the start because it gives you the practice and the expertise and the experience in dealing with how to charge it, how to submit the forms, and how to get refunds if you're due for a refund. And then, of course, you've got to pay. And this is a link that you can use. It's in the blue at the bottom of the screen to register for HST and GST. Congratulations, you're up and running. It only took us about 20 minutes. Of course, there are more steps involved in the process, as I mentioned, but these are the essential ones. You've done your feasibility assessment. Lots of formats for it, but I think the SWOT version, SWOT matrix version, is a very tight one, a very good one, a very quick one. You've got your business plan using the business model canvas. Again, a very tight, focused, at a glance type document that's alive that you can use on a regular basis, refer back to. You've set up your marketing, your online, your home, your website, your place of residence on the Google My Business profile. You've got your social media channels, of course. You've got your unique value, and you've developed your elevator pitch. You learn how to overcome objections. That's probably the core of what successful selling is all about. Yes, there are other parts to it where you have to prospect and think about how to qualify. But at the core of it is learning how to ask the right questions to overcome objections. And finally, you've done the mechanics of it. You've set it up. You've got it registered in whatever form that works for you, and you've got your GST and your HST set up. That's it. Thank you for taking the time today. I've got 3 asks of you. If you take a few minutes to grab the QR codes off the screen. First one is an online survey. Very quick survey that just gives me some feedback on what you felt was good, bad, or indifferent about today. And then second, if you found any value in this today, please leave me a Google review at the second QR code there. Lifeblood of every business, Google reviews. Love to get your feedback on that as well. And then finally, I've got a bundle of courses called Smart Essential Performance Skills, essentially business skills, in three areas: time management, mastering your to-do list; unique value proposition, USP, elevator pitch; and then go much more deeply into the sales process with the sales skills course. They're all bundled up in a course called Performance Skills on the website. And to mention, if you haven't seen this yet, I don't know if I harp on this too often, but the one unique part of what I do is that I provide um, one-on-one personal coaching in all the courses that I've got. And for all these courses, it's up to a year. So you've got an opportunity to continue to talk with me as you work through your action plans to make things work. Thank you again for taking the time today. Next Lunch and Learn scheduled for February. And essentially, I'm going to teach you just a little bit looking into a topic called artificial intelligence. We may have heard of it, a lot in the news. I do have some insights to share, and if all goes well and I can grab the right things, I'll be sharing that in our next Lunch and Learn. Again, thanks very much. We'll see you again.